Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good afternoon for those of you who are on the East Coast and wherever you are in the world. I'm so happy that you're here for my May Marketing Bootcamp. We're on day 2, so super happy to have you here. And if you're watching the replay and the recording, then just know that you're in the right place if you are wanting to have a breakthrough in your business, in your marketing. And if we have not yet connected, my name is Amy Yamada, and I'm here to help you to deeply connect with yourself, your vision, and your ideal clients so that you can create the impact and the income that you've always wanted. So today I am super excited to share with you something that has been a game changer in my journey. And it's all about taking that vision to the next level. So yesterday we got clear with what that vision was, what's your purpose, all that good juiciness. And one of the things I think back to now is that when I first started my business, like I always think back, to the first couple of years and what has shifted to where I am now. And it's just night and day. So the first couple of years, I found myself always being so busy. So if you feel busy, type it in. I'm busy. I want you to type it in. And one thing that my clients know, and even some of my audience knows, is that there's certain words that I invite you to remove from your vocabulary. So for example, the word busy, like I feel like it's an overused, overglorified word. And so anytime someone says, but Amy, I look at my schedule, I'm like, that's okay. Instead of saying I'm busy, say, I have such a full schedule or I have such a full life and I'm so grateful. Like, doesn't that sound so much better than busy? Another example, okay, this was a game changer. I'm going to get into the whole 12-monthly plan, like the 12-month plan in a moment. That's going to be super helpful. I just thought that I would share some of these shifts in mindset with the shifts in language. So another one of my favorites is a very popular word in entrepreneur land, which is overwhelm. So my clients know that I cringe when I hear this word because I used to use it, right? I used to say, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. And it wasn't until 2015 when I was in an endurance program with Suzanne Evans, like she and I were in it together. Some of you may know who she is. And I was really impressed by her commitment to the daily endurance. Like every single day, no matter what she had on her plate, her training plan, whether it was running, any kind of workout, she was done and done, like check. And I said to her, with all the travel she had, I was like, Suzanne, how do you stay consistent? Like when you're traveling, you've got these big events that you're hosting, and what do you do when you're overwhelmed? And the thing she shared with me, which I know I've shared with a few of you, those of you who are my clients, is this. She said, there's no such thing as overwhelm. It is just an illusion. I'm never overwhelmed. I'm just not prepared or not committed. So, I mean, this was like one of those aha moments I will never, ever, ever forget. So anytime I have that feeling, the O word of overwhelm, like, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm like, nope, that is just an illusion. That is a human being created, invented word, right? So instead of using that word overwhelm, like, nope, I'm just not prepared and not committed. So now I take my power back instead of saying, this outside thing of overwhelm. I take my power back and say to myself, I get to recommit and get prepared, and it's all good. It's all good. In fact, my boyfriend Ken shared with me the other day a popular, for those of you who are Seahawks fans or football fans, Russell Wilson quote, which is, the separation is in the preparation. So I quoted that recently on my personal Facebook profile. So the separation is in the preparation. I love that. A couple more things and then I'll go into today's training. The word can't, like this word just drives me nuts, because as soon as you say can't, then your subconscious mind believes that as your truth, that you have been hand selected to have this limitation, that you are not able to do this, which is BS, right? So instead of saying I can't, you could say I choose not to. I can and I choose not to, or I'm learning how. Maybe you don't know how. It's okay to say I don't know how, and I'm committed to learning. And finally, the three words you must never, ever, ever say again, inspired by Marilyn Janae. If you ever want to attract abundance into your life, the three words you must never, ever, ever, ever say again are I can't afford. So sometimes my clients or colleagues or friends will be like, but Amy, look at my checking account. My credit cards are maxed, like wherever they are. Sometimes in entrepreneurship, I don't know about you, but I've gotten to a point in my journey where I was super stressed financially, right? And so instead of saying I can't afford, you can shift that, like remove that from your vocabulary and say, it's just not a priority right now. It's just not a priority right now. Because if it if it were like, and I like to think of the extremes, like sometimes people don't like the extremes, but just to make a point here, if it were a life or death situation for yourself or someone that you love, and they needed some kind of surgery or they needed something, you're like, nah, I'm sorry, I can't afford that. You would just never say that, because the priority would be heightened and you would get into go mode and you would make it happen. So the reason why I love this as an example, even though it is an extreme, is that it shows me that if I'm using the excuse of I can't afford, then I get to shift that and say, it's just not a priority right now, because if it were, I would find a way to make it happen. And as I look back on my journey, I mean, there have been multiple times when I've had an opportunity in front of me where I'm like, I don't know if I can afford this, and the expenses, the investments, they just grow and grow. So just know that if you're in a space where you're feeling financially stretched or in pain even, just know that I have seen probably every single worst case scenario of an entrepreneur they're so passionate about what they're doing. They so badly want to do it, and they know they need to invest in coaching or going to that conference or going to that retreat or going to something where there's some money involved. And they have found a way. Like look for the stories out there. I promise they're out there, of people who have less than what you have and have just been so committed to find a way, and then they do. And I was no different. I was that person who I had hit a hard place in my journey years ago, and there was just no way. Like I remember being on a call with a coach, and I was like, there's just no way that I can pay for that. Like in my heart, I was a yes. I'm like, I know I need to do this. Like I need to do this. And in my head, I was like, logistically, it makes no sense. And then I shifted, right? I shifted to like, well, what if it were possible? What if I gave myself permission to think about what way could I problem solve this and shift to a way of being that is going to serve, I didn't know at the time, but it's going to serve me so much better than being stuck in scarcity and lack and I can't. So if you're in that space, I honor where you are. Just know there's no judgment. I just thought I'd share some of these stories because shifting my language, I'm all about words and messaging, right? Shifting my language has been the biggest thing, not only in my marketing messaging, but in the way that I show up in life. So just notice, like, what are the words that you use that actually are creating the cycle of a limitation and really speaking into your belief system, which when it's a limited belief system, that is not ideal for the growth of yourself, your business, your personal development, all that good stuff. So, okay, I'm just going to grab something here. This is where I love letting go of perfectionism. I have these little Post-its that are on my Diva Light ring so that I don't get off track. Because I am one of those people. I love chatting and I can go off track. So if I don't have like something in front of me that's just like, okay, these were the things you were going to talk about today. But what's the problem? Like my biggest stress is that they fly off the light and then I'm all messed up. No, it's fine. So welcome. Super happy to have you here. Okay, so yesterday I was talking to one of my powerhouse clients. Her name's Kate. She's awesome. And she was saying to me, because, she hears me talk about these things that I have coming up this year. And she was like, wow, I'm impressed. Like, she's like, you've got a lot coming up this year. Like I couldn't tell if she was like, that sounds stressful or I'm truly impressed or what have you. And I just smiled because I thought to myself, I do have a lot on my plate this year and I'm carrying more than I ever have. And I feel more in flow than I ever have, right? Like I feel more at peace, less stress. I'm not saying it's not stressful. Like there are definitely, there's stretchiness in it. There's challenges, obstacles, there's stress, but my stress level is way lower than what it was when I felt so busy. And I know that the biggest thing is what I'm going to share with you today, which is all about, this week's all about vision, right? So one thing that has been a game changer even before I had a team. So of course now I'm blessed with an incredible team. And this is an exercise I used when I was a solo entrepreneur, when it was just me. Okay. So I want to share this with you because if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, or I don't know if I can do this, or who am I to think I can do this, then this is definitely for you. Okay. So the key is to create a clear monthly big picture plan. So how to set yourself up for success for the next 12 months. So first you go back to your vision. So yesterday we were talking about what's your big vision? What's your big dream? Let's not hold back anymore, right? Life is precious. Let's go, right? And then create a monthly big picture plan. I do this every single year and I tweak it as I go. Because as I get closer to each month, then I have more information, right? I have a new vantage point and I tweak it as I go. So how do I do this? So this is what you can do. Think about what is your big goal for the next 12 months, or what your goal is between now and the end of the year. If that's easier for you to just really focus on, like, what's my goal between now and the end of the year? So whatever works for you. And then think about, what can I focus on each month that aligns with the big picture goal for the next 12 months or between now and the end of the year? So it's a really simple, streamlined experience. Like, I do this with my Powerhouse clients at our retreats. And by the way, if you haven't been to one of my retreats, then we do have one coming up in California, Powerhouse, California. It's a 6-week group coaching program. It's got a 2-day intensive retreat in beautiful Rancho Santa Fe near San Diego. The 2-day experience is June 24th and 25th. So by all means, if you're interested in that, then go ahead and either private message me or comment below, and my team and I will definitely let you know what's going on there. So to bring it back, so the monthly big picture plan, so this is what I do, is I now do it in a Google Doc format, because then I can share it with my coach or my team. And it's just nice to be able to go there and just update it whenever I want. I'm starting to really utilize Google Docs more and more and more. But whatever works for you. I used to use just a simple Word document, so don't overthink it, right? And then just type out, the months that you have ahead of you. So in this case, we're watching live, then we're in May already. I can't believe it, right? So May through the end of the year. And then under each month, then put anywhere from, ideally it's just 3 bullet points of the main big projects you have, like up to 3, 1, 2, or 3. If you have some other things that are ongoing that just will help you remember, like, okay, these are the main things I have going on, then go ahead and type them in. This is your big picture plan, so however you want to do it. But it's not designed to have like 20 things where you look at it and you immediately feel that sense of overwhelm coming up, right? So when I look at mine, I can clearly see here are the main focused areas that I have in my business happening right now. And at any given time, I can go to this big picture monthly plan and say, okay, is what I'm working on right now in alignment with one of these bullet points? To take it a step further, you can then either put it on a big Post-it, like I'm a big fan of putting big posters on my walls, or just do a little Post-it. Like I have my May focus, so I know I said 3, but this is my May focus. So the May focus is all about Powerhouse California. So we're in the enrollment time frame for that and filling those spots. I've got my May marketing boot camp, right? I've got my May mastermind. So for people who are in my Powerhouse mastermind, May 10th and 11th, and I'll still be doing my Facebook Live. They will be, I'll have my clients are all flying in. And so we're gonna have this 2-day mastermind event. I've got a soon to be announced, upcoming co-creation live stream that I'm starting to plan now. That's coming up in July. So it's happening in July, but we're already starting to prepare and plan for that. And then as soon as possible, like this is coming up, we will be determining the dates for my 3-day live event, Dream Big, that's going to be in the fall. So I'm very clear with my Post-it of what is most important. Now, underneath each of these, of course, there's lots of little to-dos, right? So it's just nice to have a focus though, right? It's just so good to have that focus so that I know that I've really set myself up for success. And my experience of most entrepreneurs, especially newer entrepreneurs, is that when they come to me, they're just like, I just don't know what I should focus on next, or I just need to have a solid plan. Or they actually have a plan and then they're not following it. And I'm like, okay, well, therein lies the problem. You actually do have a plan, you're just not following it. So I wanted to share this because it's something that maybe some of you are already doing. And if you're not, then wherever you are now, I would carve out time today and just say, okay, what gets to happen between now and the end of the year or now in the next 12 months? And then bullet point out as much as you know, and then be honest with yourself. Like if you have a 2-week trip coming up in July, then to put all this other stuff in July just doesn't work. You know what I mean? So allow yourself to have your vacations in there or any big trips or weddings or what have you. Okay. So the third thing that I wanted to share, and then I am going to open it up for Q&A. So if you have a question, just go ahead and pop it in. I would really love to get in the habit of having you ask questions so I can really help you in the questions that you need answers to in your own business. So go ahead and pop that in. The third thing I wanted to share is the number 1 rule of entrepreneurship. Okay, I'm just going to have you guess. So just type in below. What do you believe is the number 1 rule of entrepreneurship? And it could just be a phrase, like something quick. I'm just curious what you'll say. In the meantime, I'm going to give some shout outs here. Thanks to my team for posting that link right there. Okay, so saying hello. Saying hello to Holly, Justine, Yvette. Yes, you're welcome. Hey, Shannon. Good to have you here. Good morning. Kelly, Sheila, Michelle, Shalyn. Hey, Shalyn. It's been a while. Hey, Valerie. Okay. Valerie says support. Nope. Although that's a good one. Any other guesses? Holly says, notice the fear, do it anyway. Nope. That's really good. I love that. It's not, is it follow through? Nope. These are all great though. Like you should write these all down and say, these are my rules of entrepreneurship. Shalyn, remember your purpose. Not it. It's great. You bet. Take action. Don't try to be perfect because perfection is the enemy of the hood. Yeah. You know, not it, but yeah. Hey, Kelly. Okay. I'm going to tell you the number one rule of entrepreneurship is have laser-like focus. Laser-like focus. And the reason why is, I mean, all those other ones are good. So I share this because I was watching Shark Tank. If you're a fan of Shark Tank, just type in Shark Tank. I was watching Shark Tank. This was years ago. And I remember Robert Herjavec, you know, who sits all the way to the right, and he's just the nicest person. I remember there were these two women entrepreneurs who were pitching them, you know, on Shark Tank for investments. And they were all over the place, you know, and he just looked at them and he said, and so I give credit to Robert, by the way. He said, what's the number one rule of Shark Tank? Which means number one rule of entrepreneurship. And they're like, know your numbers or this, like they had all these answers. And he goes, nope, it's laser-like focus. And it was another aha moment for me. I was like, I'm writing that down and I'm going to share that when once I have a team, which I do have now. Laser-like focus. When you can be so focused on what it is that you're doing, that is a game changer, which is why today's training to me is super important, because if you're not clear and focused and eliminating distractions, if you have shiny object syndrome like I do, like if I paid attention to every single thing that was happening and trying to do everything at once, I would not be where I am today. So laser-like focus is key. Okay, so hey Jennifer, welcome. Yeah, Shalyn, needed to hear this today. I get it. I mean, there's times when I get distracted too. I'm like, okay, number one rule of entrepreneurship and Shark Tank, right? Laser-like focus. Have laser-like focus. What am I focused on today? And when you create structure in your day, it's the structure that actually gives you freedom. And if you create a structure in your year, it's the structure that gives you freedom. So we'll get more into that as we move forward, because even having your day structured a certain way, like I, aside from this May Marketing Bootcamp, I don't have anything like call-wise prior to 9 a.m. So I'm getting up earlier these days so that I'm practicing self-care, taking my dog for a walk, journaling, you know, just having that beautiful morning ritual that I used to always dream of but not do. And it's so much better. So, okay, so this is a Q&A portion of May Marketing Bootcamp. So I would love for you to just think about how can I best serve you right now? So if there was one problem that I could help you solve today in your business, what would that be? You know, and it could be relevant to what we're talking about today in terms of your big picture plan for each month, or it could be something else. So go ahead and pop that in. Today I have this, I know it's backwards, Captive Island mug. I don't know about you, I have a ridiculous mug collection. And I'm not big on collections, but somehow I ended up collecting mugs. This is Captive Island. It's got dolphins and shells. So I thought it'd be kind of fun because I got this when I was in Captive Island, clearly. And that's where we did our last Powerhouse retreat in February. So beautiful there. I don't know if anyone here has been there outside of my clients who came, but it was just gorgeous. We stayed at this house and it was on the water. We had dolphins right outside the house we were staying at, and just all sorts of wildlife, and it was gorgeous. Yes, Holly, me too. So many mugs. Yeah, you're welcome. Justine, you're welcome. So yeah, any questions? Q&A time. And then I'll wrap it up. Yeah, Holly, it's totally gorgeous. Is this helpful? Like, I would love to know who has implemented or who will be implementing this monthly big picture plan. And even if you want to, just as an exercise, pop in here a few bullet points of what is this month's focus for you. If you know. If you don't know, then this is your chance to take some time after the training today and just map it out. I'm telling you, it's so great because now I share that Google Doc with my team. And then every week I do, with my assistant, Becca, we do a one-on-one call. And one of the things we do is we go back to that screen of like the Google Doc, and we're like, okay, How are we with this? Where are we with this? We're like, we just kind of go through the list of these things and we're like, okay, we're on point. And then we think of new things to add to it. And then she takes it into a whole like project management thing. So awesome. Okay. Valerie says, me focusing only on lead generation. Great. That's awesome. Shannon. Okay. Let's see here. Can you give us an idea, a snapshot of what your schedule looks like daily with all of the events you have upcoming? That's great, Shannon. So we are going to go more into like the daily stuff, but just to give you an idea. Okay. So right now, I every year I look at my, like how I'm running my week, and I know this is kind of a teaser for the next couple of days, but, like how are you running your weekly schedule? And what would be dreamy for you? So I always bring it back to the vision, like what would be dreamy for you? So for me, okay, so in the mornings I have my, my self-care. So I either go for a run, I go to a boot camp. This morning was boot camp. It was awesome. Oh my gosh. Squat, what was it? The squat thrusts. Super challenging for me. Squat, so anyway. Okay, so to bring it back, so I do the morning, my morning ritual. And then right now for the month of May, I've got my 9 a.m. May Marketing Boot Camp. The rest of the year, I typically don't have any calls until about 10 or 10:30. So that way the morning is my time and I focus on my priorities, which feels great because then I'm making myself a priority versus before I used to start, with, working with clients first thing in the day or team. And then Monday and Tuesday, there's a lot of team calls. So I also, once a month, I'm a guest trainer for the mastermind that I'm in for the newer people in it. So once a month, I do a training call for them. So on Mondays, we do a team call that I'm just in for like 15 minutes. Tuesdays, I have I call my dream team meeting and then a sales team meeting. So we do those back to back on Zoom. And then on Monday and Tuesday, I do my one-on-one calls with my executive assistant and then my accounts receivables. So I front load the first part in the mornings of my week. So Mondays and Tuesdays with anything team related. So we're just like starting off the week with our vision, who's working on what, are we on top of things? What gaps do we get to close? And I love to create that culture of connection and really empowering each of my team members. So it's the same with my clients. Like I always think about what are each of my team members' bigger visions? Because I always want to make sure that while they're with me, that this is a stepping stone in line with their vision. So so this is what I'm bringing back to. The more you align yourself with your vision and the more you empower your clients with their vision or your team with their vision or your loved ones with their vision, then the better off we all are, right? Because we each have our own dreams. So, and then I just think, like when I have these big projects that are coming up, I delegate to my assistant and my team about really thinking about, okay, what are the deadlines of each project? So we've got a whole project management system. I don't have time to go into all of that today. But these are some of the things that shameless plug, but Powerhouse California, we're going to be doing your marketing strategy for the next 6 months. So if that's something that you're feeling like you could use some support on, I highly recommend you connect with myself or someone on my team so that we can really see how we can best serve you. And if you're able to join us, it's a 6-week program as well, then we can really help you with your strategies, how you're managing your time with your strategies, and really knowing like what is it that you're offering, what is it that you're delivering, and how to use your words and messaging, marketing messaging to convey that. So yeah, I hope that helps. Okay, Kelly says, I'm updating my monthly plan. Summit interviews, Facebook group, phone calls. Awesome. Holly, hey Holly. I get afraid to commit because I'm used to letting myself down when I don't hit those goals, but I get to change my relationship. As long as I'm learning, it's not a failure. Yeah, so Holly, I know we've talked about this before. I always, especially since last year when I went through this leadership training, I realized that I was attaching my worthiness to my goals, right? So if I achieve the goals, I'm worthy. If I don't achieve the goals, I'm not worthy. And then I learned through that experience that my worthiness is intact no matter what. I mean, would you ever treat someone else like I think I read a quote recently on Facebook that said, I never thought I was a bully until I heard how I speak to myself. I was like, oh, that's a tough one to hear, And then I think about how my experience of myself and hearing how others, treat themselves, like I've been shifting that, and I'm a lot kinder to myself than I was before. So just know, like all of you, just know that your worthiness is intact no matter what. It's not about the number. It's not about if I don't achieve this goal, I'm not good enough. Like the human being experience, there's just an I'm not good enough conversation happening. So let's just shift that. Let's shift that. Let's shift it, because it's not about that. It's not about, you have everything it takes to be happy and successful and create, really create the life that you want. So you got this. Okay. Brittany, getting organized and keeping myself accountable. Awesome. Holly says, do you tie revenue goals to the month or just events and activity? Yeah, so we're going to be getting into that as well in our May Marketing Bootcamp. So if you want to already take it a step further, by all means, having a revenue goal for the year and then having a monthly revenue goal and a weekly revenue goal, and you can look at it either as revenue or number of clients that you'd like to enroll. So with my team, we talk about how many clients we're going to, call forward this week. What's our declaration? What's our commitment? Who do we get to make a difference for this week? So yeah, you could do that. Yeah. Calls before 10 a.m. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you're like me, take your mornings back. This is the beauty of entrepreneurship. Okay. Justine, launched your first program. Awesome. 12-month creative activation program. Now trying to figure out how to plan out the year for new clients. Do you have any ideas on how to help laser focus your clients? Do you give them incentives or an end of year thing? Yeah. So for my clients, what we do at the retreats is we come up with a plan for the year. And then, because success looks different for everyone. Remember what I was talking about yesterday? Like, what does success look like for them? And then really planning out the monthly plan. And then it's all about guidance, support, and accountability. So just think about how can I hold them to the highest level of accountability? So I actually have, as one of my support coaches, Susan, she's our accountability coach. Like, she will hold you so high to staying accountable to what you said you wanted to do, so that you do everything you can to achieve that goal. And if you don't, there's no judgment. It's just about, okay, now we get to learn what's in the gaps so we can do it better next time. Okay. Hey, Marilee. Yes, you're welcome. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick little time check. Okay. I'm just going to wrap this up in just a minute. Shalyn says, love, you said culture of connection as I struggle staying focused and keeping in action because I often feel so disconnected from people, even though I'm connected and totally present with clients every day. How did you stay focused when going at it alone? That's a great question. Shalyn, the thing that I've always come back to is just bringing it back to my vision. So even when it was just me, I would journal about my vision. And then, even before I was in like a really powerful community, I worked with coaches. Like, the best investment I've ever made in my journey has been to invest in coaching. So even locally, and Shalyn, I believe you still live in the Seattle area, as do I. So initially I worked with a couple of local coaches just for like a 3-session, they have these little packages, right? For 3 sessions or something like that. And, which by the way, I don't recommend. Like, I now believe in stepping into a community. But all that being said, having a coach to hold me high and for someone to talk to about, here's my vision, here's where I am now, here's what I've already done. And I may even like put together an initial plan and then be open for feedback. So even to this day with my coach, when we do like a half VIP day and, we connect on a frequent basis, I share with her, okay, here's where I could use some coaching, right? So I do as much as I can on my own because I'm holding myself high and responsible. And then just knowing that I'm tying it in with my vision. I think far too often, like, people start off excited and strong and, like in the honeymoon phase. And then it can be easy to just get into this routine of work. And then it's just like, okay, why am I working so hard? Or why is this? Why is that? And it's like bringing it back to the why. And then finding your tribe, like one of the things that has made a massive difference for me is that once I really stepped into entrepreneurship, I realized that most of my friends at that time were not entrepreneurs. And I still have some of those, I think that, have you ever read that poem, Season, Reason, Lifetime? Like, if anyone hasn't seen that, just go ahead and Google that. Season, Reason, Lifetime. People come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And so, naturally, some of the people I used to work with, we shifted and I don't connect with those people anymore. There's a circle of friends that we're called the Peas, like peas in a pod, that I've known for like, I don't even know, 18 years now. And they are like sisters to me. And even though we're all in different places, like, we just are really close. And then I found my new tribe, right? Which are all entrepreneurs who are super passionate about what we're up to in the world. And we help each other out. And then I've got a great coach. So just really surrounding yourself. So even if you don't have your team, you can still have colleagues, like people who are also entrepreneurs that you can connect with, and you can have an accountability buddy. I have the same accountability buddy now for the last 2+ years. We connect every single Monday for 30 minutes, and we focus 15 minutes on one of our businesses and 15 minutes on the other. It's fantastic. So yeah, it's so important to connect. Otherwise, for me anyway, like I get depleted if I am not around people in person. Like even when I'm coaching, I'm connecting with people all the time, and I also get rejuvenated with love and friendship. So if I ever get to a point of feeling depleted, I'm like, what's wrong with me? I'm not feeling my usual happy self. Then I plan stuff with friends. Ken and I do a lot of fun stuff together. So that's super important. All right, everybody. On that note, I'm going to wrap this one up. So to recap, focus on the big picture plan, like the monthly big picture plan. If you already have it, today's a good chance to revisit it and just say, okay, from today's vantage point, is this still in alignment with my big vision? So for example, for me, the things that I'm doing this year are in line with the projects that I'm doing, like Powerhouse California. I'm going to do a co-creation live stream, more details on that coming soon. And really, things are all wrapping up to my big 3-day event in the fall, Dream Big. So I just am very clear with what's happening every month. And then my team knows what's up, and then we're all in it together, and we make it super fun. Like, please bring the joy into it. I mean, life is precious. All right, have a great day, everyone. And I'll be back on tomorrow morning, so 9 a.m. Pacific, for May Marketing Bootcamp. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Mwah. Bye.